Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and welcome to another edition of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. As always, before we get started, thanks to our sponsors of this podcast that help us bring it to you for free each and every week. Thanks to our friends over at Pollyanna DIY, the folks at Angelo's Pizza, where you can try their award-winning pizza on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. And, of course, to those who help us out and stream AIW shows for you at independentwrestling.tv. Check out some other fantastic promotions there as well. Sign up for their streaming service. Use code ABSOLUTE. Is that still a thing, John?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe that's carrying over.
So do that when you sign up. And, of course, thanks to Smart Mark Video, who always is there to record everything for us at our live events. On this week's episode, we, again, have Worldwide be chiming in. Bone Collector Dominic Carini, the leader of Barkley Nation, Wes Barkley himself, AIW owner John Thorne. And my name is Steve Guy, as always, your moderator of sorts. And, we asked you for some questions on this episode and what you want us to talk about. So it's kind of, it's going to be a hodgepodge of things, a cornucopia, if you will. And let's lead off with this one because I like it so much.
Okay.
John Thorne, this is for you.
For me, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Most of them probably will be. You ever worry that Swoggle still works for New York and is a special secret agent sent to destroy AIW from within, like McMahon had Russo do in WCW?
That's unreal. That is unreal.
Wow.
Thanks to our friends at Pod Van Dam.
That's, what's that? I want to know that guy's deal before I even answer that. Pod Van Dam guy.
story?
Pod Van Dam, that's the least surprising question
your
I've ever
story?
heard
Yeah.
then.
What's that guy's story, man? Did I ever think that he is a secret agent sent in by New York? No, I don't think Swoggle's a secret agent based on how upset he gets that he is no longer working for the New York territory at times.
That could just be a ruse.
He's no longer employed by Titan Sports.
He's trying to throw you off.
You think he's trying to throw me off?
It could be.
Wow.
I mean, maybe that's how they found Shayna.
You think Swoggle is the scout?
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Could be.
My mind is
Can
blown.
you send him my...
All these storylines we're trying
Better
to
send me
get
your
going,
promos.
and every time they do, suddenly they go there.
PB has no hope then, huh?
I mean,
Man.
this all did start happening once he debuted at J-Lit. I felt like it was a slippery.
I really
slope.
never did think that, but now you're starting to put a little juice into this
Wow.
conspiracy.
Yeah, some things line up.
There's smoke to this fire.
I don't think that he's a secret double agent for the New York territory. I think AIW is probably the least of the New York territory's many problems that are arising. But I don't know. I don't even know. That one has thrown me. That one's got me rattled, dude. I'm a little rattled on that one.
That's what we refer to as a hot start there.
Yeah, that's a hot start. I mean, no, I don't think so. I'm gonna lean towards no.
Okay.
But if I don't know, like it's kind of like a cop, like Swoggle. If you work for the WWE, you must tell me right now, like entrapment. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Are you trying to destroy, or is he just trying to destroy my company by me having to book him so often? I don't know. That could bring us down too.
That Oshkosh flight.
That
Yeah.
Oshkosh flight, the match quality, the work rate.
River City WrestleCon.
Oh God, don't get me going on that. I almost had a lawsuit coming.
My goodness.
Someone challenged the trademark recently. I'm not even gonna fight it. But that's that is a question, man. I'll tell you that.
What a way to start.
Well, we'll try to get easier from there. Like this one. I'm sure you'll have an answer for this. When Elgin won J-Lit, did he also receive a future title shot like other J-Lit winners, or was his win equivalent to Eric Ryan's in 2012?
So from what I remember, the whole plan behind this was, the winner of the J-Lit get a cash-in title shot whenever they want it. Elgin was the defending champion, and his whole thing was he wanted to prevent that additional title shot from being out there. But if he would have lost, he would have lost the championship. It was kind of like a risk versus reward sort of thing.
Okay.
But if he won, therefore there was one less contender out there for him. That was kind of the plan behind that. And I'm sure we did not do a good job of explaining it at the time, especially at that time when it was like. I still feel like AIW is so like kind of fly by night, and then I think about like those days, and it was like. It's like a whole different world, and it doesn't even seem like that long ago.
Did we ever have a Ray Rowe cash in from a few years
Yes.
ago?
Yeah, he did. He did like the baby faces always like, they booked the match. You know
I
what I
couldn't
mean?
remember when that was. But when we
That's
actually
just
had
how it
cash
was.
Escape
in.
from Cleveland.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's when it. So, the only one that potentially may not cash in is Joey Janela, based on the new contract and the injury. You know what I mean? Who knows what that time frame is going to be looking like?
All right, might go. He might take that cash in along the lines of the AIW Women's
I can
title. Is
see
that what you're
Joey.
saying?
I can see Joey Janela taking the cash-in contract and turning the I into an E.
Ooh. Now that's a storyline that I'll sell to Cody.
There you go.
There you go. A quick, easy one for you. What's your favorite Jeff Cobb match from AIW?
The only Jeff Cobb match in AIW against Ray Rowe.
It was really awesome, though.
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. That was. I got to do commentary on that.
Jeff Cobb's a guy that I wish we probably would have been able to do more with, but it just didn't work out.
I'm gonna do a deep cut into the. If you go back to the Season of the Witch episode, there's a mention. There's mention of a certain wrestler getting with a certain fan and a car alarm going off.
Oh, I heard that story.
Let's just say that when that wrestler, I just heard it from this guy, was walking back sheepishly to the outdoor locker room, he passed by Jeff Cobb, and Jeff Cobb was having himself a little chuckle and gave like a little nod.
He give
And
you
that
a-
wrestler has thought about that a long time.
Did he give that wrestler a good attaboy?
Yeah, that's basically what the chuckle and the nod was.
Nice.
Jeff
That's-
Cobb, one of the nicest guys that we
Very, very good guy.
we'd booked.
Yeah, I wish I would have been. I'm pretty sure he's like an exclusive property now, but it's I don't know. He's just a guy that we were only able to do once. That's the benefit of adding those additional shows too. It's like we were able to. We're like. It's like you have like the set Cleveland schedule, and then if you can add some of these extras in every now and then, you throw in like a guy that might not be. Not saying that he didn't fit in, but it's like it's it's hard. It's harder to get them on when you have the set kind of like roster guys that you're trying to utilize every single big event.
Yeah.
That being said, if the opportunity comes, would you jump on it? Would you book him again here?
I mean, Jeff Cobb is going to be probably one of those guys that is going to be like a hot prospect.
Sure.
No matter what if his contract expires, he's going to be a highly sought after guy. Like I was saying, a few weeks ago, like who knows if we even get the indie stops going forward. You know what I mean? Based on we're going to have to see what the sustainability of this AEW thing is, and especially the money offers going forward, because imagine that though, like the guy doesn't do the indie tour anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like going from big company to big company, which is going to be exciting for wrestling fans and really exciting for these guys' bank accounts, but kind of disappointing for the indies as well, because like that was that's one of the things that like right before Samoa Joe went, he went around, you know what I mean? And like whenever these guys get fired, they're hot. They're really, really hot for a while. And it's like if they're going from big company to big company, I don't know if we're going to get that anymore. So might not have that opportunity with Jeff Cobb.
One tweet we had here was pertains to you, Mr. Worldwide.
Whoa.
The idea of PG-13 being opponents for the Weird World.
Shouts to Bobby Moore from Athens, Georgia.
You know exactly who said that, huh?
Oh, yeah. He's the same guy who usually comments on any of our stuff. and his only booking recommendation is usually Wildfire Tommy Rich.
You know, it's funny that you said that because Wildfire Tommy Rich is a guy that's been like popping around in my head a lot for something, but I just don't know what to do with him.
If you want just a wild animal of a little dude with glasses from Athens, Georgia, to hitchhike his way up to Cleveland.
He doesn't have a car?
Maybe, maybe not. But either way, that would be one ticket sold. He'd figure it out.
You know, it's funny because
He used to be around a lot, didn't he?
who's
Like
that?
Cleveland All-Pro and shit?
I
Like,
mean, I don't know if maybe if I saw him. Oh,
Well, no,
you're
I'm
talking about
Tommy Rich.
Oh, yeah. So that's what I was gonna say. It's funny because like in my wrestling brain or whatever, you know, like before, like I've really now gotten older and like dove deep into things, and like Tommy Rich was just the guy that waved the flag from ECW to me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like he was always on Cleveland All Pro, and I'm like, why is this fucking guy on every like that was JT Lightning's like favorite wrestler ever. And he would book Tommy Rich all sorts of time. And like no matter what condition Tommy Rich was in, he would always bring him back every now and then because it was his like favorite wrestler of all time. And I saw Tommy Rich, and I know I've probably talked about this on the podcast a long time ago, but me, Biggins, and Drew Cordero saw Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert reunite their tag team in like an abandoned airplane hangar in somewhere near outside of Columbus, Ohio, in front of like 40 people in this weird Cleveland All Pro show that was bought like by like a biker gang. And I'm pretty sure I talked about this on the podcast with Biggins before, but like it's like now like I know what Tommy Rich has done, you know what I mean? But like even like up like 10 years ago, I never really cared to like dive deep into like things that I hadn't watched, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like now it's like, man, like Tommy Rich did some fucking pretty wild shit back in the day, and it's like I wish I would have appreciated that more when he was around Cleveland all the fucking time. But whatever you were gonna say about
As far as PG-13, I mean, I know I think we've like made like some like, didn't you reach out to Jamie Dundee or?
I have not, because I'm like I love Jamie Dundee shoot interviews more than anything.
You want him in the battle?
I've been around Jamie Dundee a few times. Like specifically at the Gathering of the Juggalos once, I spent a lot of time with Jamie Dundee backstage at the wrestling thing when I was there with Cabana, and I forget who I was with, but man, we took Jamie Dundee to the drug bridge, and man, that was a wild time.
Wow.
Well, isn't it known that like Wolfie doesn't want to take as many bookings because he's super successful as like a car salesman now?
Well, I think he's retired. He is definitely a car salesman. Like, I think he's like one of those guys that would like take pictures with you and like with a championship belt or something when he sells you a car. I would love to book PG-13. I just don't know what the condition of like I'm sure Wolfie's do it okay, but Jamie Dundee is always a wild card. But man, if you watch some like old PG-13 shit, they were doing some like super innovative stuff.
Definitely.
That's like it'll blow your mind. Or like if you get a hold of like some ECW house shows, like it's like they had like probably such a minimal run in ECW, but it's like they did house shows all the time, and it's, you know, it's crazy. But I don't know if the world is ready for Jamie Dundee and Worldwide to be in the same same locker room sort of.
I think it's slightly more ready for New Jack and Worldwide to be in the same locker room, but Jamie Dundee, I'll do some
Gonna
work.
keep pushing that.
And it's funny now, like one last thing that I just remembered, Razor Sharp once was like, hey, Jamie Dundee messaged me wanting to come to UXWA, and I was like, brother, I don't know if you're ready for that.
He might be now with all that extra money.
We'll
UX
see.
dub.
We'll see.
The question be, is Jamie Dundee ready?
But
Razor Sharp.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I see what you did there.
maybe
See what you
PG
did there.
maybe PG-13 will make their way to AIW.
I was going to bypass this next question, but due to recent episodes, it was kind of relevant, so I thought why not? For anyone to chime in on this, what species of dinosaur would be the best wrestler? Worldwide, you recently parted ways with Jurassic Park toys, so you're our dinosaur expert.
Well, I'd like to preface this by saying that I'm having a real hard time with dinosaurs lately because all these people are coming out saying the dinosaurs had feathers. And, recently
Yeah, birds
they
are
went through this
descendants,
Jurassic
yeah.
World shit,
Yeah.
and dinosaurs still without feathers.
Did they have feathers
And
or not?
no.
No, there were some that had feathers in the newest movie.
All right, then I'm all right now. Because I always said, you know how, like, the female Ghostbusters, like, just basically, like, outed a bunch of dudes as, like, gross misogynist and this and that and, like, da-da-da-da.
Uh-huh.
Well, guess what? Fucking as soon as there's a Jurassic Park with all dinosaurs with feathers, I'm fucking all right. That's all there is to it. I can't deal with it. So the answer is until I get scientific confirmation that they didn't have feathers, because that's how I was brought up, I have no favorite dinosaur because I'm not gonna fucking believe in some giant goddamn bird.
Yeah, I'm not into this feather theory at all, man.
Yeah,
it
they
was
think
so
some people
weird.
think that even velociraptors had feathers now. I don't. That's a weird.
If you really break it down.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
Why do you think it makes sense?
It just fucking does. I mean, you look at them, you look at the fucking bones of goddamn stupid fucking birds, and you look at the fucking bones of stupid dinosaurs, and then, like, what the fuck is a bird underneath all the feathers other than probably some scaly fucking... Like, have you ever shaved a chicken? I've never fucking shaved a chicken, but I imagine it's probably some, like, pink-ass scales. I don't fucking know. And then the fucking beaks and shit.
But birds are so much smaller than
and the fucking birds
dinosaurs.
have the goddamn teeth.
This is next level talk.
Yeah,
right
but
here.
like lizards and everything look like dinosaurs. They just don't have the little arms. So what do you think? You don't have an opinion on what dinosaur would be the best wrestler? Velociraptor always looks awesome in Jurassic World.
I'd personally say just the Brachiosaurus, like the biggest motherfucker, because, you're not getting that thing on its back. And if you do get it on its back, it's going to fucking bridge, like, up into the goddamn moon. You're not putting it on its shoulders.
No, you're not ever going to be able to put that on the shoulders. It's true.
I mean, I'm just gonna go with the T-Rex because it would just kill people, right?
Triceratops.
I was gonna say T-Rex and it would do a
Triceratops?
Hogan big boot leg drop combo. He said it's in a wrestling ring, right? Is this in a wrestling ring or just?
Yeah, he's a wrestler.
Yeah, T-Rex for the Hogan leg drop.
Oh,
The short arms, though, bro.
I know he doesn't need them. He just drops the leg.
and that
big blue
tail.
leg.
Don't forget about that tail.
He could swing it.
I like
Okay, next
Stegosaurus.
question.
Yeah,
Stegosaurus is good. Can't put those shoulders down. What about that one that looks like a tank?
That was a weird question, man.
That was.
Well, I just want to throw it out there because of Worldwide's recent Jurassic Park toy. Here's a good one. Somebody basically asking if we will see an anniversary match between Josh Prohibition and M-Dog Matt Cross.
That's a weird question.
It says Josh Prohibition, M-Dog, 2020.
Wow.
I mean, it'll have been probably announced by now, but yes, on April 26th, we will be seeing M-Dog Matt Cross versus Josh Prohibition, the 20-year anniversary match. It will be 2 days beyond all of our 20-year anniversary from the first show that I promoted, and as well as Matt Wadsworth. I was in heavy negotiations with the original building, but it kind of fell apart at the last second. So I'm went with the building that was willing to have us for this date. So I'd locked down both those guys for months with no building just for that date because it was so close to the 20-year anniversary. So that will be Josh Prohibition's big return match for the first time since Absolution.
Wow.
On your Facebook, there's a guy on here that we all know. May or may not have recently ended an intense title reign, but he brought up wants to know the time you punched your uncle.
I mean, I already talked about that. I'm not going to talk about that.
I thought you'd give it a goofball spin. Let's see. We want an Eric Ryan.
I'm pretty sure I
interview.
already talked about that.
I think you did.
I have one from a Twitter DM group.
Oh, okay.
Twitter DM group.
Yes. What podcasts are y'all listening to?
Me?
Yeah, just a round table.
I listen to The Card Is Going to Change.
Well, besides the
AIW,
card is
brother.
going to change, obviously.
So, in the event of this new AEW company and all this news that's breaking constantly, I subscribed to the Observer for the first time in my life. Whoa. So I listen to the Observer radio, like just like not all the fucking shows on there, but just like Meltzer and Alvarez or whatever stuff. I've been listening to that for the last couple weeks with this new thing going on, and then like I'll try to listen to like a Pritchard every now and then, or an 83 Weeks Later, but it's just like it's hard to. There's so much podcasting content, and like I think that's probably why our numbers have gone down from what they were like a year ago. Is just there's just so many options right now, but it's like it's hard for me to find like the time to where I'm gonna be able to sit and listen to like hours of audio, because it's like I'm at work, and then it's like you go home and you only have X amount of hours to like complete like life tasks before you have to go to sleep and go to work again. So sometimes if I find some like time at work, like that's where I'll listen to the Observers, because they're usually like an hour or something, but then I like bounce around on like Something to Wrestle With or 83 Weeks, or I'll fall into like a Hannibal YouTube clips, not really podcast.
What shoots are you watching these days? Who do you got?
Not really podcast, but like I love like watching those Hannibal TV fucking little clippets. That's what I got. I'm probably listening to a fucking 100.
I listen to some wrestling podcasts, some non-wrestling podcasts, but I travel a lot. I mean, I have like over 8 hours of drive time every week to work, and then whatever bookings I have. So when it comes to wrestling podcasts, I usually listen to Between the Sheets every week, and then Lapsed Fan, if they have a topic that I'm really into. Like right now, they're doing an entire like journey into World Class Championship Wrestling. So I'm really into that, because I kind of like love the idea of world class and just finding out more about it. I have no want to actually watch any of the wrestling, but I just love hearing about just the territory and like the stories and the characters behind it. Like Gino Hernandez, the Von Erichs, all these guys. And just kind of trying to figure out about the tragedy of the Von Erich family and just kind of everybody involved in that promotion in reality.
Oh, and I will say I did listen to this most recent season of the Serial podcast, because it had a little it hit a little too close to home that I had to do some research.
So that brings up my second thing I listen to. Is I'm really into serial killer lore and things like that. So Last Podcast on the Left is a podcast I listen to a lot, where they talk about supernatural things and serial killers. True Crime Garage, which I think is based out of like Columbus area, they do a lot on serial killers, so I try to listen to that. And then I just finished, it was over, during our break, but there was a podcast series called Bear Brook. It's like a true crime podcast where they look into these random bodies found in the forest in these 55-gallon oil drums. And they kind of go through that. It's like a 7-episode series. Each episode's under an hour, so that's a really easy, digestible listen. And then there's a podcast on assassinations that's really fascinating that I started listening to. So that's some of the stuff I'm listening to.
Do you find with all your drives, and like when I have to drive to stuff for comedy, do you find like it's not necessarily just because with you with wrestling because you're in wrestling, but listening to podcasts, I feel like gets my drive done easier than if I would just listen to music. Because almost like you're a part of a conversation, but you're not. Like it keeps you more alert. Does that make sense?
A little bit, but also for whatever reason, like some of the podcasts I listen to, like longer form, like a Between the Sheets or like a Lapsed Fan, they're between 4 and 5 hours. So I know if I pop one of those on, that's my entire drive to one place or back. So I know like it kind of keeps me grounded on timing.
I just look for different interviews that I like. Honestly,
even driving around town for me, like I fucking will have podcasts going like at all times. Like I can't deal with any silence. Oh yeah, shouts to Chapo Trap House. Leftist shitbaggery comedy. One of those guys recently did a fucking documentary. It's on SB Nation about MMA. It's great.
What's the weirdest podcast that Worldwide listens to?
Right now, I'm on this one. I'm listening to this one called QAnon Anonymous.
Ooh.
Which is just like these dudes like basically like breaking down like, the sort of week to week of like the whole QAnon thing.
Okay.
And like obviously they're skeptics, but like, fucking around with that.
Conspiracy life.
Also on the wrestling side, Virtual Pros, shouts to the boys, WrestleSplania, here and there.
Yeah, they're funny.
And Struggle Session. It's hosted by a guy that apparently interviewed John Thorne one time. Leslie Lee III.
Oh, I've went to a bar with him before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, well, he's got a leftist nerd podcast. He talks like wrestling, anime, video games.
He used to have like a pretty popular like blog. I think back in the day, and then
he's
based on
ruthless
wrestling.
on Twitter.
I got a question for you. I believe it was Hardcore Homecoming or Hardcore Revolution. Which one was it? Hardcore when you were helping with the production end?
Oh, neither. It was
Extreme Rising.
Extreme Rising. Yes.
Can you tell any stories about that?
Well, like the big story, which I've told before, is when, I was tasked to go videotape Sabu overdosing, which was, I'm sure I've talked about that before, but that was probably the most uncomfortable I ever felt doing anything.
I bet.
But, it was weird because it kind of did feel like ECW because it drew like a huge, gigantic crowd. But, like, that was also, like, at the same time with the Sabu stuff going on, like, Just Incredible had, like, a crazy-ass relapse and was, like, walking into walls, you know what I mean? And, like, he was trying to, like, sell his, like, original Aldo Montoya drawing mock-up.
Oh, my God.
He was trying to sell that, and, like... it was like a wild scene just seeing all those guys kind of in one place.
For sure.
But it was just like, I don't know. Like I got paid pretty well. I did like I don't know how many shows they did, but I think I did like 2. I skipped a taping because I just was like, I'm not gonna call off work for this or something. Right. But like, dude, they had some like big they had some pretty big money. It was like, nice hotel rooms and like flights and shit, like flying me out to do. Yeah, like they had some money behind them. But it just, you know what I mean? Like everything else, like you can't, like every other also ECW revival attempt, like it's just, there's a reason that like it just, these guys can't get it together for the most part. You know what I mean? There's a lot of demons involved, and the one I did one in Pittsburgh at the Golden Dome, and Shane Douglas gave this big speech, like, and it was like kind of like the Paul Heyman speech, but it was like we're so far beyond like people buying into this, and it was like such kind of like a work, and it was like weird because it was like trying to motivate the boys, but like it was like in care, like you could tell like he was you know what I mean?
He's
like,
wild. That was a wild period for him, huh?
And like that was also packed, like a few thousand people. So it was like, but it was like the weirdest lineups and like talent combinations. Like Sylvester Takei was walking around backstage at one of them. Like he did like a dark match, like just weird ass shit. And like, yeah, it was cool, but like it was also like super strange to be a part of.
Sounds weird.
And I get like I'm seeing like for a brief second in that Barbed Wire City documentary holding the camera. But yeah, I mean
that's wild. Yeah, I had to ask about that.
It was like this, like it was all through Kevin Kleinrock that like hired me for that, and he also hired me for the Urban Wrestling Federation. So it was just weird little things to put on your resume, I guess.
Sure.
I think we've covered this one before, possibly, but maybe not. So we'll revisit it or visit it. What were the booking plans for Tim Donst as AIW champion prior to relinquishing the title due to the cancer diagnosis?
To be honest, I cannot fully remember what the plans were. I think he relinquished it in like a February, I think. So I think he relinquished it maybe, I don't know, like I can't remember. I'm thinking like the Dennis Stamp show or the show after the Dennis Stamp show. I can't really remember, but I know that that was the most famous story from that is like Biggins had hired Marty DeRosa's buddy to be the new hype man, and he didn't know what was going on. And, you know, Tim Donst was going to announce it and relinquish the title, and it was going to be this whole thing. And, you know, like, we have the line, like, we didn't think to, like, brief this guy because, I don't know, it's just not something you think of. Like, Biggins was like, go out and hype up the show, you know what I mean? That's the only, like, instruction he gave him. And, like, the guy went and, like, got the lineup, and he was like, Tim Donst is going to give up the title tonight. And, like, as people are coming in, he's like, we're going to have a 4-way to determine the new champion, and the participants are going to be. And, like, Biggins fucking hit the roof. Like, and that guy, I think that guy just, he knew he fucked up, and he just, like, left. And, I never saw him again until he came to my friends with us after the Marty DeRosa show.
Oh, it was that dude?
It was that guy.
Yeah.
Is that guy?
It was the guy that drove.
Yeah. I was gonna say he was at the Cabana Marty DeRosa.
I'm pretty sure he drove in the fall. Pretty sure he drove you guys home or something. He drove some people somewhere.
Yeah.
His name Macho Fatness. He had to be on Facebook. A nice guy, but like it was just one of those things to where it was like. And I know I'm sure we told that story on a really old podcast too, but.
Yeah, he came up to me at their show during the comedy festival, and he's like, whatever. I'm like, man, for some reason I feel like I know your name. And Marty was like, yeah. He was like, he was the guy. He goes, maybe it was a couple before he gave away all this. He ruined the whole outcome. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the plan was. Probably at that time, like there was probably no set plan because I'm pretty sure that. See, I don't even remember, to be honest with you. That's when Josh Alexander winds up with the championship from there. I wanna say maybe the plan was for Josh Alexander to beat Donst for it, but you know, I can't be for sure, especially around that time. I would have to really look at the timelines to when it happened and see if I could piece something together, because like I mean I got to be honest, like so much stuff is kind of like just it's evaporated from my brain, you know, since that time with like, and like Biggins was an encyclopedia of like every single bit of everything, and it's like I don't know if it's just like my brain just flushing things out and like flushing memories out. Like Swoggle was like, tell your favorite Biggins stories right now, and I'm just like he texted me that for an episode, and I was like, dude, I can't even think of like I can't even sit and think of one like specific thing because they all kind of just like run together right now.
And like just pop in and out.
Yeah, it's just like like I can't be like this is like my favorite Biggins story of all time, you know. It's just right. Like and I think maybe it's kind of like maybe the like stress of having to take over the whole company and juggle so many different things around at once. It's kind of like, I don't know, like my brain just gets rattled about stuff right now, and like there's days where I just feel like totally brain dead.
I still love the Biggins Akeem dance at Johnny and Candace's Cleveland wedding reception.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to start carrying the equipment around with me. I'm just going to start asking other people their favorite Biggins stories, and then like
just do like a Biggins episode.
Yeah, then like I'll cut them all together. Like I'll save them all over like a few months or something.
Yes, I like that. There you go, folks. You heard it. Eventually, we'll get a Biggins. I mean, we've done Biggins episodes, but
and I need to hear other people to like trigger my memories on things, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard because you spend so much time with someone, and like you said, they all kind of mesh together. Where other people had certain moments in time,
right?
And they had that branched off. The one question that was posed was, who were some of the ideas for the first AIW champion? Did you have multiple people in mind?
I think it was gonna be. I mean, I'm trying to so the AIW like championship lineage is like, it's like Pat Patterson in Rio de Janeiro. Like, it just happened one day. Like, you know, like,
Which is my pitch for the greatest WWE movie that'll never get made.
what's that?
It would be a double-blind spy story about the first Intercontinental Championship tournament in Rio de Janeiro, which everyone knows didn't happen. But what if it did happen? But it was this whole other thing, and it would be like a weird spy movie where Pat Patterson was sent down to take care of some business. You'd have like, some weird like gay intrigue running around, maybe a car chase or two, and then also a wrestling tournament on top of it. But then, is it worked? Is it a shoot? What's going on? And like, just like a really weird spy movie where Pat Patterson is actually a spy.
Oh, okay.
That's
And, like I said, I mean, if they want to do like some prestige shit, I'm here.
So, getting back to the question. So like, I know that we've also covered this before, but AIW was kind of started out of some turmoil that was going on like in the local wrestling scene, and just like other weird like drama going on, and it was like, it wasn't started with like a plan really of like, this is what we're gonna do, this is what we want, like this is gonna be our champion. Like it was really kind of started out of like, no, like fuck you, we're gonna do this,
Right.
and it was like more motivated at that and succeeding at first than like having like a plan and being a pro wrestling promotion. And like, I mean, even as long as some of us were involved in wrestling, like we didn't know fucking shit about anything, you know what I mean? It was like a bunch of like, I was 21 years old when it started, like how much could you really know about anything at the age of 21, let alone like pro wrestling psychology and building things and booking. So like it was more out of the fact of being like a wrestling promotion than like, here's the big plan for the first champion, and we're gonna do it right, and it's gonna make so much sense. Like nothing made sense. Like it was just gonna, like, the second show we were just gonna have like this match, and then like it was so, you know what I mean, like everyone was just kind of like dumb 21-year-olds, and like the Thrillbilly came out with the belt, and then like he was supposed to win, but he came out with it already. So it's like, okay, he's just the fucking champion now. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how it happened on the second show ever.
There you go.
No plan. Sorry, guys. Like,
Hey.
it's always like such a big disappointment. And like, some people are like, oh, you don't tell like the full story on stuff. Like sometimes there isn't a full story on anything.
And anybody else questions here?
I just got one. It said add AI wrestling. Wes Barkley's really cool dude. Thanks. Will you guys ever go back to the Winchester? Thanks for that shout out too.
So there's negotiations ongoing with the Winchester. The thing about it is the Winchester isn't just a bar. It's a fully operating music venue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they book a lot of things on the weekends. They have approached us about the idea of doing a Thursday night event,
Oh wow.
which I'm going back and forth on. You know what I mean? Like I see positives, I see negatives, but we might kind of do it as a, just let's see what happens. Not go too crazy on a budget. Obviously, just kind of see if the people are looking for something fun to do
For sure.
on a Thursday night. Maybe a lower ticket price. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like this honestly was just kind of, we were just approached about this like literally at the time of this recording, like yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Like I was just asked about this. So it's kind of like an ongoing thing. We were offered we were asked about Thursdays and Sundays. I see probably more benefit on a Thursday.
Definitely.
I could see a way to make Sunday work as well, or I could just not do either of them. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of like a lot of the uncertainty of wrestling and independent wrestling. It's like, I don't know, do I want to add another show? But it's like, we have this tryout coming up, and what if there's good prospects that, maybe we can do a couple Thursday shows a year and throw some new guys on there and see what happens. I don't know. There's so many things kind of, rattling around all in my head, and it's like, I have to make the decision. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like, so like, even though it's been a while and been a couple of years, it's like, it's still kind of hard for me to be like, okay, like I have to make this decision. Like, I can't be like, I can ask people, but it's like, before I could be like, hey, Biggins, like what? And then we would debate it and pros and cons.
Sure.
And it's like, now it's like, I could throw it out to people, but then I'm ultimately just debating it with myself, So it's like,
For sure.
it's a weird situation still to be in, but there is a possibility we could be, dropping a Thursday night, other than WrestleMania weekend.
Thirsty Thursday.
Wow.
It's called like
first.
AIW Lightning.
What's that?
It's called AIW Lightning. as
AIW
opposed to Thunder. I don't know.
AIW handgun Thursday night.
Had a good Thursday night.
Ooh. Wow.
Questions, gentlemen? Anybody? Wrap this thing up.
Wrap it.
That was pretty good. We dropped that bomb. We talked about M-Dog and Prohibition. I think we'll draw this sucker to a close. What's in store for Wes Barkley, do you think, in 2019?
Whoa. Hey.
More training.
The
hopefully.
official line is "We'll talk."
Yeah, we'll be in touch. I got him.
Some bitch.
You feel like he's got some good training in as of late?
We'll see. We'll see. To be determined.
Did you say good training?
Oh, come on.
Has he gotten
It's
some?
been
has
2
he
weeks,
gotten-
dude. I've been
It's
busting
been a few
my
weeks.
ass.
Has he gotten some good training in?
We'll go and post and edit this if so.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take a post at it.
You haven't been there more than me, man.
I know.
As of the recording of this, Alex Worldwide Kalar has been to more practices than Wes Barkley.
Jeez. I got to get my numbers up. 2019, no excuses.
Wow.
And make sure your roommates know you're still alive. They're worried about you.
Got you.
I
I'll tell
lifted
'em.
shoulders and triceps, and then hours later, banging around that ring.
All right.
Literally.
Clanging and banging.
Yeah, banging's probably the best way to put it.
You get Worldwide. Are you still working out at Gabe's gym?
Every day it's a fucking new disrespect at that place. I swear to fucking God.
Damn.
Devolving. That's what it's doing.
Wow.
Gabe is a terrible manager.
You signing up for you doing some workouts at Old School Iron at all?
It's not my scene. It's really scary there. People they have the music up really loud. A lot of people yelling. I just feel like
It's no judgment-free zone.
I like being I don't fucking go Steve Guy for Christ's fucking
I know
sake.
you don't go there. I'm just saying.
All right,
in general.
it's a different fitness. It's evolved fitness.
Ooh.
Any time.
Do they play Neurosis there?
They do.
All right, it's time to wrap it up.
All right.
You
Well,
can tell this is the last recording of a long session.
yeah. Some
Let's
people.
just say I'm gonna look like Mike Awesome by like the end of 2019. That's the goal.
Ooh.
The McDonald's dinner box you just ate says differently.
Yeah.
Vulcan, motherfucker, heard of it?
You better stop by the Shell station.
There were
brother.
questions about 2019.
I'm grabbing a
but we've
fucking
covered
grande
that.
box on the way home. I'm going fucking 4 tacos, crunchy, fucking 4 tacos, soft, and then fucking 2 bean burritos. And you know what? I'm probably going to eat 75 to 100% of that before I fall asleep.
Sounds
Hey, does
good.
Weird Body still?
Tasty.
Is his bedroom still the living room?
Yes, but that will change pretty soon.
Nice.
Someone got a physical, but they try to hold him back, but he's about to get out.
Well, congratulations to Weird Body for having his own bedroom here in the future.
And when he does, let me tell you something. That fucking worldwide living room gonna have a dartboard because that's my next evolution in athletic competition.
I beat you in darts.
I'm going from
Sorry.
pro wrestling. Well, you had fucking Razor Sharp backing you up, you motherfucker.
Oh, hey, two.
All right, turns out Razor Sharp, Razor Shark, goddamn dart shark.
Dart Shark?
He's a
Fucking
savant.
3 bullseyes in the first 3 shots.
It was fucked up.
couple of guys that grew up with you in Lake County stopped into my bar on Sunday evening.
Oh, really? Some boys from the Men-TOR?
Yeah, two dudes, one lady.
What they have to say?
I happened to overhear them talking while I was wiping down the bar, and I heard the word Alex Keller come out of their mouth or
Oh, wow.
words.
Oh, Keller, not Kellar.
Yeah, they said Keller. Yeah.
Said it right.
And yeah, as do I. So I said, oh. I said, you guys know Worldwide? And they go, oh, yeah. I said, oh, I ring announce for the wrestling promotion that he's in. And then they said how they knew you. I asked if they ever been to a show. And they gave me the all, no, it's been meaning to get to one of those.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah. Oh, one lives right next door, right by you there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I,
won't
know exactly
I won't
who you're
divulge
talking
where you
about.
live. I won't divulge where
That's
you live.
fine. I've never gotten a tattoo from him either, so...
I feel like this is a conversation that can be held off the podcast.
Well, you know.
This story's going nowhere.
This
For
episode
Steve
wasn't
Guy,
going
for
very.
John Thorne, for Wes Barkley, for Alex Collar, for myself, Dominic Greeny. Thank you for listening. We will see you guys soon.
Are you gonna?
Also, I forgot to shout out Street Fight Podcast.
You can't see people on a podcast, Dom. We'll talk to you next week, everybody. Right here on AIW's The Card is Going to Change.
Thank you, Steve.
Yes.